Okay. Hello, my friends. Welcome to my first YouTube live. I did not know whether YouTube was going to allow this. So let's get into it, why I'm here. I was very strongly guided by Holy Spirit to come and speak with you about manifestation, about conscious creation in Christ. So there's a lot of talk about manifestation. There are a lot of manifestation techniques out there. Neville Goddard being one of the great ones who tell you think from the end and keep imagining every night before you fall asleep that which you desire to live, so that you rewrite your subconscious mind at night. And that is awesome and great, it works. I believe it works. It has worked for me. And what I'm bringing you today, the awareness of the person that you're becoming as you are doing your manifestation. Because the person that you are now, who does not yet have your manifestation, is different than the person who lives your manifestation, whether it's a great relationship or finances or a house or adventures that you're manifesting. So how do you become that person? This is where it becomes so difficult for many people, because they're trying to still take their present version of themselves to that manifestation. This is kind of like maybe when you were a teenager and you thought, if I just have $1 million, my life is going to be just totally fine, because I'm going to have the life that I have now, except I'm going to have $1 million on top of that. So all my problems will disappear. Well, money magnifies everything, which means whoever you are inside, money magnifies it. So if you have limiting beliefs inside you, which if you are born a human being, you have them, then those are going to grow also. And becoming the version of yourself that reaches your desired vision is the version of yourself that can hold not just your desired vision, but that who is also able to hold the opposite of it, the contrast of it. So this is when you will see things like, right before getting your $1 million, you actually lose everything. Right before that, you lose it either to a scam or theft or whatever. You get in the hospital, you crash your car, it seems like things are falling apart. And that is simply just your manifestation coming. It's happening. The contrast is showing up. And that is where really the big test is, as to how do you respond to this contrast? Because that is the one thing that you have control over. How do you respond to situations? If you respond with the old way of, oh my gosh, my life is falling apart, oh no, this isn't working, what's going on, I'm a loser, whatnot, then that is what then you giving your subconscious mind, and it's going to say, oh, this is where the emotion is happening, this is where the belief is happening, I'm going to give it more. I'm going to give you more. When you hold the self-awareness, the person that you're becoming, the inner strength, the inner resilience, the identity in a rock-solid foundation, which the rock-solid foundation is the source of you, the source of everything that is, the source of life, God, without any religious connotations. When you hold your identity securely and strongly, knowing that God has the best intentions for you, everything is for your highest benefit, then you can look at the life situation and say, oh, I see, things are happening. The space is clearing out. These things that seemingly what we would call in a 3D world negative is happening to see how am I handling this contrast? Because on the other side of that contrast is the really big, the spaciousness of holding that wealth. So when you can say, okay, I see that this happened, I'm not totally happy about it, and I'm not allowing to fall down the rabbit hole. I am fully holding the knowing that my reality is changing. My 3D reality is reconstructing to that identity which I hold of myself, is making space. It is creating that bigger sphere, that magnification that I am holding. Now, there's that little trick in here, right? Because a lot of people do fall back. That's when you start looping back to something that's comfortable. And for most of us, it's quite comfortable to feel negative. That, oh my gosh, this is what's happening, and oh, this is so bad. Because when you have grown up in these limitations, more than likely you were the victims of them, your system, your body, your mind is used to them. So going back to the comfort is then stopping you from actually creating that space that is what's needed so you can hold more. You know, becoming wealthy isn't doing so much more. It is being able to hold an internal space within you, knowing who you are. A lot of people get very uncomfortable with that space. They don't know how to feel that space. They get fidgety. They're like, well, what do I do now? I am bored. Oh, I'm left to myself. Let me see. I need a distraction. I need some friends. I need to talk to somebody. That is why we have meditation come into our world nowadays so much more and so much more. It's for you to be able to go deep within you and be in the space of peace. Everything is birth from that space of peace of the present moment. And when you can hold this space, meaning you are allowing this huge spaciousness within you to just be. To just be. Without needing anything. This space where you just know that everything you need is given in the space of right here and right now. And that is why we love nature. Nature is holding that space for us. Can you hold that space when you leave from nature? And when you keep walking in this spaciousness, and any limiting beliefs that come up, you see them for what they are, and you keep stepping. And then the next limiting belief that comes up, or constriction, and you see it for what it is, and you keep stepping. You keep stepping in your spaciousness. Then you start to ground. Then you start to embody that version of you, that identity of you, who is then able to hold the inner wealth. Because your material wealth first, or that your material wealth happens from your inner wealth first. When you realize that you are held in God's grace at all times, when you realize that there is nothing stopping you from achieving the best version of yourself who lives the life that you desire, when you realize that there are no limitations, that the only limitations are that which you perceived, that which you used to believe. And when you release those, then there's this huge space of what do I want to do happens. And when you can handle that, with having the self-discipline, with having the self-leadership, to feel that space, not just completely feel it, but feel that space with meaning, feel that space with that which makes life go forward in good, that which is here to help serve others. that which makes, builds, connects, nourishes, loves for others and yourself, then you fill up with this knowing, with this sensation of wealth within. And when you walk in this wealth, regardless of your 3D circumstances, meaning not letting the 3D circumstances just pull you down and send you into a spiral for days. But when you fully understand that your inner wealth is permanent, that is your truth, and your 3D circumstances are the outplay, the movie of that. When you hold that space of it turning from the seeming negative, then it turns to then what you would call positive. Your inner wealth must show itself in your 3D reality. And it is this inner wealth that keeps you happy. Money will keep you happy for here and there, whatever amount of time. Yes, it will make your life easy. An awesome relationship, yes, it makes your life great, but it can only be as awesome you know of yourself within. The adventures that, you go to a beautiful exotic place, it lasts only as long as, maybe a week after you leave from that space. After all, after everything, after all the exciting moments, when you go home to yourself, when you go into your alone space, when you take a shower, go to the bathroom, go into your room, it's you that you're taking with you. It is this inner wealth that then feeds you and nourishes you. It is this inner wealth that you're able to grow from and create from. And this inner wealth doesn't just spruce up from any mind space, from any egoic space. This inner wealth comes from being securely, closely, intimately connected to the source of all that is, your relationship with God. Let's take a breath here. Let's take a breath here. This was quite a mouthful. And let's observe yourself. When you take that deep breath, how does it feel to go deep within yourself and connect with the source of life? Do you have any constrictions? Do you have any ideas of, well, I grew up religious and it wasn't so good? Or do you have ideas of, well, I only believe in the universe, I don't think God, that's for religious people? Anything that's in there, this is a space where you can bring it up and just allow to see it for what it is. Allow to see that inner communication that happens within you, and ask yourself the question, is that true? Is that really how it is? I came to God and Christ about a year ago, and it used to be difficult for me to say that, to say the word, to say God, to say Christ without having those inner constrictions. And I know that that's true for a lot of people. A lot of us have been touched by religious shaming, even if you did not grow up religious. Perhaps even more if you grew up non-religious, because then you heard of religious people being crazy or some kind of derogatory term. So we are coming to this age where we are here to fully clean and clear ourselves so that we can have that true connection, that connection that feels like truth within you, that you don't have to explain to anybody, you don't have to prove to anybody, that relationship within you that you can always fall back on, and you know that it's there the moment you become aware of it, that relationship that gives you strength for life, that inner relationship with God within, not separate, that allows you to think bigger, allows you to see yourself as the highest or the next higher version of yourself, that gives you the courage, that gives you the faith that of course you can do this. That is the connection, that is the relationship that I'm talking about. So if you like to take this opportunity, you know, just right now, just breathe deep within yourself. You know, what do you call self? Where is the limit of yourself? Do you notice that there's any space within you that says, no, that's it, there's no more. It stops right here. This is how far you are, and then from here on, it's not you. And then see if with your next breath, can you expand that space? And can you invite God into that space? Invite God that is, actually just ask, God, I want to know the truth of you. I want to have a relationship with you that is so pristine clear that it pings anything that's not true off of it. I want to have a relationship with you that is so crystal, iridescent, beautifully clear and clean, that the minute I become aware, I become strengthened, I become alive, I become the knowing that I am connected in you, with you, through you, as you, and I am the child of you, and I am ready to transmit your word, what it is that you want me to do. God, let me see my purpose, because I've been searching and I want to do my purpose, because I want to live in the freedom of my purpose. I want to live in the love of you. God, show me. And if you don't yet have an answer, if you have kind of like an unclear answer, then I invite you to come back to this space day after day. Just like how a relationship with another human being that you'd be interested in, you would make a contact with them every day, right? You would touch base. You would want to let them know, hey, I'm interested in this relationship. You would reach out in whatever form. Allow space for that relationship to grow. And that is what you're doing within you. You keep coming, you keep knocking that door, and the door opens. And my friend, I tell you, your mind will be blown, quite literally, because your mind will be renewed. And there's nothing else that can renew your mind to your fullest potential than the inherent truth of you, than the inherent truth that comes from the source of everything that is. I thank you, my friends. I welcome your comments. And if you are interested in training yourself, in training your mind, your emotions, your physical body, your nervous system, into being aware of this relationship with God within you, then come look in the comments. I have a small course for you where you can experience this entrainment. This is just like entraining you into your physical strength. This is in training you into the clarity, into the space of clarity of knowing who you are in the truth of everything that is. I thank you, my friends, and I will see you at the next transmission.